Do you feel that? There's change in the air. So today I'm going to do as little notes as I can do and try to just keep it real. Use some straight talk. Warning, there's going to be some tough love. All right, so we're going to do some real talk about allow screen time to let go of you. So I'm sure we've all struggled with screen time by now and the addiction of it. And basically, if technology is using you and you're not the other way around, there's a problem. Let's admit that's a problem. You know, at the same time, looking at my own journey with technology and things like that, I was doing the best with what I knew, and I was experiencing depression, severe depression, and things like that. So if I was binge watching a show or watching Marvel movie after Marvel movie in perfect order, mind you, I mean, weigh the pros and cons, right? So who was I really hurting? Uh, it's not the end of the world. It's not the worst thing in the world. And it's about releasing that which no longer serves you. So if it is serving you, if it is serving a purpose, if it is helping you in some way, by all means, And then there's also this other phase of our life, or this other category, where, I'll just talk for myself, that I can, enjoy a show or a movie, but not get sucked into, I have to wake up early tomorrow, but come on, we all know that feeling. I'm just going to, the next episode's right there. I'm just going to watch another one and another one and another one. And then who's suffering in the morning and needs like a double espresso just to get through the day or whatever it is, right? And then you feel lack of energy, lack of focus. I mean, is that any way to live? If it happens once in a while, okay, let people live, right? But if it becomes a pattern and you can see that it's not really helping you, it kind of sucks. It just sucks. Let's just keep it real, right? So yeah, if you're in that phase of your life where you're like, you can check in on the news, you can check in, go to the movie theater, and you can have a nice balanced relationship with it, then awesome. That's great. More power to you. But a lot of us struggle with that. Like, have you imagined doing a sort of a screen fast? I don't know what to call it, screen-free fast or something like that, where you just, if you have the opportunity in your life to just zero technology for a week, I mean, can you even imagine that? What that would feel like, what that would be like. So my focus about this is about getting out there in the world with the sunshine, with the nature, with real people, eyeball to eyeball, She says that she's talking into a camera. So when I'm in nature, I'm trying, all right? So the point is, I see the irony, but at the same time, if you're doing it with a clear intention to help others, definitely windy today. Hello, wind. Oh, goodness. So, yeah, it's all about your intention and being clear with that intention. So, let's get to it. My focus also in the back burner is always children, and I have gone to a bunch of really valuable workshops about the effects of screen time on very young children, developing brains. Let's get all the judgy stuff out of the way right away. All right, so, oh, camera not cooperating today. That's all right. So, for example, as I fix this, try to fix this. Uh, I was at the temple in some other province, I won't say where, but I was just looking around, and it kind of broke my heart to see these very little children, and quiet as can be because they're all glued to their parents' phone. It's just like, oh my gosh. And I know we've all had this kind of moment, even on the subway or the train or whatever, and everybody's just looking down. I mean, just think about what that's doing to your neck. At least if you're going to look at your screen, hold it up, all right? Come on. Try to respect your spine, love your spine, all that good stuff. So I'm trying to catch the camera in case it falls here, so that's why I'm all, yeah. So, and immediately my ECE brain just comes up with a whole swarm of visuals, of solutions, of these children could benefit from having their own separate space and learning about spirituality in an age appropriate way, and with coloring books and things like that, and having fun and making spirituality fun, and just understanding the stories. The stories are so in depth, especially in the Vedic tradition, Vedic science, Sanatan Dharma, which I follow as best as I can. And I'm not into the dogma of religion and everything, because I feel like people just follow it blindly. Anyway, that's another topic. My point is, make learning fun and engaging, and not like this. What you're doing when you hand your child a screen, it's like a shut up snack, all right? Here's some candy, now shut up. That's blunt. I have to be direct, I have to be blunt. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. And at the same time, I can put myself in the parent's shoes, and I empathize with you so much that if it's one of those times where you're just feeling overwhelmed and you're like, okay, here's your iPad, or here's my iPad, or whatever, I get it. I totally get it. This is, a judgment-free zone. It's just because I have gained so much information about the effects of screen time, especially on a developing brain. Think about what it does with you as an adult. And I know it's so hard because we've all been programmed and conditioned to be like, this is normal. It's normal to stare at a screen for these many hours a day and have a sedentary, whatever, lifestyle. I know because I lived it. So, but again, be gentle with myself. It all happened for a reason. So I just wanted to share some of a really quick summary, because those workshops I went to for early childhood and screen time, it was shocking but not shocking at the same time, right? Because I've always contemplated this even from the 80s, and just here, TV is your babysitter, enjoy, not blaming anybody, that's just how it was, right? So, and how that's affected me and my relationship with screen time and everything. So when I was at those workshops, it was shocking though, because they're so little. And it's like, let's just get straight to it. It's like drugs. It's like they get a little dopamine hit. And I mean, I just went on the internet and did a quick search, and then I just took a few screenshots about what I remember from the workshops, generally, and here it is, summarized from the internet, not from me, from other much more intelligent people who have done the research. Okay. So, what are the symptoms of too much screen time? Too much screen time can lead to obesity, sleep problems, chronic neck and back problems, depression, anxiety, and lower test scores in children. How screen time affects children's brains. Early screen exposure has been associated with lower cognitive abilities and academic performance in later years. Are kids overstimulated from too much screen time? A child's sensitive nervous system can become overstimulated and hyper-aroused from moderate but regular amounts of screen time. So there's that dopamine hit again. that we're talking about. It can be very addictive, insidious, just creeps right in. Anyways, does too much screen time give kids behavioral issues? The study about the analysis of brain development in children found that youth who spent the most time on digital technology exhibited higher levels of depression, anxiety, social anxiety, aggression, defiance, and bullying, even up to 2 years after dependence. Can too much screen time cause developmental delays? A recent study found that children exposed to more screen time at the age of 1 showed developmental delays in communication and problem solving by ages 2 and 4. Can you reverse the effects of too much screen time? While stress and screen time break down brain connectivity, exercise does the reverse. It builds connections and actually makes the brain bigger. So there is hope. Does TV count as screen time? Screen time is a term used for activities done in front of a screen, such as watching TV, working on a computer, or playing video games. Screen time is a sedentary activity, meaning you are being physically inactive while sitting down. Very little energy is used during screen time. Dragonfly in October. Well, hello. So I think that's good to clarify what is screen time. Too much screen time can be linked to obesity. The more TV and video your child watches, the greater his or her risk of becoming overweight. Irregular sleep, behavioral problems, impaired academic performance, violence, less time for play. What are the neurological effects of screen time? Screen time overloads the sensory system, fractures attention, and depletes mental reserves. Experts say that what's often behind explosive and aggressive behavior is poor focus. When attention suffers, so does the ability to process one's internal and external environment. So little demands become big ones. Like, holy mother of God. Like, that is huge. Once you start connecting the dots, I mean, there was a phase in early childcare where, I was babysitting or helping or working in the home as well. And some parents, they really took that to heart. And all their little child was watching was Baby Einstein. And they would only get like a certain amount of screen time for their baby. And even then they were like, what I noticed that when I turn on the TV and it's dinner time or something, their eyes are just glued at 1.5, 2 years old. So I don't do that. So now we're just sitting at the table and eating dinner together. And of course, easier said than done, but really that physical activity and exercise and rebuilding the brain and all that really good stuff, I think that is the good news, and that's really, really helpful. So as a parent, you might be asking, well, what the heck do? I need some peace. I need some quiet. I need to take care of business. And but at the same time, and I need energy, right? So here's some quick, very short solutions. And again, technology can be a very helpful tool if you're able to pick it up and put it down, and you're in full control, So, like infant, toddler, preschool, this is maybe more for infant, toddler, but even if you look up on Pinterest, and I didn't use Pinterest for years and years and years because I was like, oh, it's lazy, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, and, use your own brain. And if it was up to me, we'd all live in an Amish paradise, okay? But I've learned that technology can be very, very, very useful. So with Pinterest, which I have tapped into. Oh my goodness, what a fountain of information. And it can only take you like 20 minutes tops to like have a whole, list that you can use for like a month. It's pretty cool. And with things around the home, you don't even have to buy stuff really. Maybe painter's tape, because painter's tape is gold, especially with very young children. So, for example, just type in, these are the type of things to type into Pinterest to make your life easier. Sometimes there's just too much information and it helps to just know what to type in. So for example, infant close-ended activities, loose parts, open-ended art ideas for infant or toddler, whatever age group, open-ended fine motor indoor activities for toddlers, mess-free painting. So these are just some examples, and you can go from there. And so what I've used in real life too, because I had to get stuff ready in the classroom or whatever it is, and even my coworkers were shocked by this one, but I found it on Pinterest. So I had a bunch of oven trays. We use them for magnets and all sorts of stuff in the classroom. So oven trays are awesome. They're so much fun. So you just have a painter's tape oven tray, maybe 3 of them, how many you want, bunch of toy animals or whatever you want, like, certain size that's small enough to like tape a whole bunch on there. So you're taping them with a painter's tape and you're giving them to your little one. So you're still there. I'm still working at the counter. I'm still looking, making sure their health and safety is always good. There's no choking hazard, things like that. But I'm able to focus on what I'm doing at the counter as well. So they're busy trying to pull, the toy cow off the oven tray thing. Every now and then I say, oh, what does a cow say? Oh, how many legs does this animal have? Or, you just ask a bunch of engaging questions here and there to help and aid with, pair that language to what they're learning about. But it's also just they're using those muscles, they're strengthening those muscles, and it's the next best thing is a shut up snack, okay? I hate that term. I'm not a fan of that term, but that's what it is sometimes. But I get it. You just need some time to yourself while monitoring them at that young age, just like for children 5 and younger, And that's one thing. So another one is there's like a scarf pull activity for baby. This is stuff you can type into Pinterest and you get a nice visual as well. So you just have toilet paper tubes, painter's tape, and those light scarves, and they're just like pulling it through, like you attach it to the wall, and then they're just put the scarf in the top, and then your baby or infant or toddler just pulls it down through the bottom. And another one is sensory play, bags taped to the floor. So you type that in, you'll get a really good visual of what I mean. They love that at that age. And a lot of these you just set them up beforehand, before they even wake up. And when you need that time to like be there but not be fully there, then you bring them to that area. Anything can happen. Children love ripping things apart and biting it and everything, so always pay attention to their health and safety. I'm not saying just give them the closed-ended toy and leave the room. No, they have to be monitored at all times. You know that, we know that, we all know that. So another one is muffin tray with different colored balls, like those balls from the ball pit. So whatever size, it just fits in the muffin tray. And you have that really wide painter's tape, and you tape it across there, and that's really fun for colors and stuff. Oh my gosh, and you see them trying to get, like they're really focused on getting that tape off and getting that ball out. And another one is cardboard, the tops of baby wipe lids, and different textures inside. So if you type something like that, you'll know what I mean. And they open and close it, so again, practicing a totally different muscle group. And they love that click sound when it closes, and then they feel those different textures, and you can label the language and textures as well. Like that's rough and that's smooth and that's silky and that's soft. And so things like pom-poms, textured paper, different fabric, bubble wrap, burlap, um, some rocks, or that's where a hot glue gun really comes in handy. Yeah, even if you have like a mom group or somebody and you share a hot glue gun, like yeah, it really comes in handy. Or a dad group. So those are just some ideas, and I'm just trying to give the overall idea that you don't have to resort to giving them a screen. There is some prep work, there is some pre-planning, there is some thought involved, but yeah, you don't have to always reach for that for them, especially when you connect the pros and the cons. The cons are really big. So positive ways technology has impacted me and has helped me, from when I'm a child, because I think that is important to recognize that we are living in a technological world, and those skills are really helpful. So when you feel like your child is old enough and mature enough, that's fully up to you. Then I would expose them, to a limited amount of technology in a very specific way. Like I loved Typing Tutor, and I loved it from like 8 years old or whenever it came out in the 90s. I was the only one who had the patience to sit for the dial-up modem in my house. So when they needed the internet, I would call them and say, hey, it's ready for you. But yeah, once the dial-up modem worked and the Typing Tutor came online, it's like playing piano for me. I love Typing Tutor. And now they still have it, I think, and there's games, and you can test yourself and how fast your typing speed is and things like that. It's very cool. And I think that's a good skill to have, and just it helps, again, with that brain and motor development. So that's just one example. I mean, it's completely up to you, of course, how much screen time to allow your children, but if they see you always on your screen, that's the other thing as well. So as an adult, let's talk more as an adult now. In my personal life, I've gone through many ups and downs with screen time, especially around 2020. That was my magical transformation time. I wanted to go in the backyard and like use a hammer and break my phone. Like I was addicted to Candy Crush and Bejeweled and things like that. I was dealing with a lot of addictions, let's just say, in my personal life, and for good reason. But I was like, okay, don't break your phone. So, somebody wiser than me suggested, why don't you cover your TV with a light blanket, things like that. And it worked. It really, really worked for me, because it gave me that second to be like, wait, do I want to take this blanket down and watch Wayne's World right now? Or do I want to go for a nature walk? Literally just down the street, past the stop sign. I'm right there. Choices. So yeah, it helped me a whole bunch. Then I go through another phase where things are not going so well, and I'm watching every episode of New Girl or something. So that's okay too. You just keep trying. Another technique that really helped me was I gave myself a set time around that time to help me break the addictions. So I would even go so extreme as to don't even use my computer or my laptop or my phone in the house. Just go to the library and use it there. So that environmental control. There's so much things we can't control, but I found like environmental changes are like the easiest way. It's almost like a magic trick. If I can control my environment, there's something there. So constantly I'd have things that I want to Google. I want to Google this and look up this and Google this. So I would have a notepad and I would just write down every time I thought of something, I want to look this up or whatever, or recipe. And then when I went to the library, I would do those things and look it up. And email myself the recipe and then screenshot it or whatever I needed to do. And I found it was very efficient too. And I found my relationships got better, especially my relationship with myself. So, yeah, you don't have to go that extreme. A lot of people don't have that problem that I had. So, uh, even if you just give yourself a set time, this is the time I'm going to have my screen time, and the rest of the time I'm going to be present with the people in my life, with my surroundings, with this amazing meal that I'm eating. Like, just bringing your present moment awareness to any activity that you're doing can be healing in of itself. So that was a lot. And maybe some of this resonates with you and is helpful. And yeah, we'll see. I'm going to sign off for today, and I wish you well.